Oh, it is. It is a Monday episode of Donno Daily here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Bros, this is another Monday where I don't have to wear the paper bag over my head. We only wear the paper bag over the head to start a Monday when the Dolphins lose and the Hurricanes lose, and sometimes my son puts on the tinfoil hat, but no paper bag necessary. Not only did the Dolphins win yesterday, they won very ugly. I know, I don't care. After 7 straight losses, I will take any W. Prior to yesterday, the Dolphins hadn't won a game since September 12th, season opener against New England. So I will not apologize for a win, no matter how ugly it was. And it was ugly. We'll talk about it. Miami Hurricanes won on Saturday. Also not the prettiest of wins because of all those fumbles, but a dub is a dub. The Miami Heat. Now, I know that they gave up a big Utah Jazz run and nearly blew it late, but still, that was a quality performance and a quality win against another of the best teams in the NBA. The Miami Heat are the best team in the NBA once again. The Florida Panthers win on Saturday. Even Inter Miami won over the weekend. We are feasting on W's in South Florida. I'll tell you where we're going to be feasting on W's tonight. Guys, I hope for our South Florida-based viewers, you're going to join us tonight at the Quarterdeck Seafood Bar and Neighborhood Grill. I'm going to be getting out there around 7:30, but whether you show up at 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, hell, show up at 10:30. We're going to have a great time. We're having a good old-fashioned watch party tonight at the Quarterdeck Seafood Bar and Neighborhood Grill, the Sawgrass location right by the FLA Live Arena where the Florida Panthers play. We're going to be out there at the Quarterdeck Sawgrass location. We're going to be watching Heat basketball tonight, Panthers hockey. We're going to be watching Monday Night Football. Miami Heat are on the road at the Denver Nuggets tonight. Enjoy the awesome food, the fresh seafood like the oysters and Maine lobster. I'm going to chow down on a build my own poke bowl here tonight. I love that fresh seafood at the Quarterdeck. Unbelievable appetizers, guys. The wings and the buffalo shrimp are fan-freaking-tastic. We got a 2-for-1 happy hour for you tonight. Everybody who comes out to the Quarterdeck, you can enjoy 2-for-1 happy hour tonight, my friends. It's going to be so good. There's TVs covering every wall. You want to go to the Quarterdeck, whether you're there tonight or you want to come at a later date, check the Quarterdeck out on football Saturdays, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays. They've got the TVs, flat screen, high definition, covering every single wall, and take advantage of those 5 for $15 ice cold buckets, Heineken Light, Amstel Light, High Noon Hard Seltzer. Mix and match those son bitches to your heart's content. If you want to find the location nearest to you, visit them at quarterdeckrestaurants.com or peep that menu before you go, quarterdeckrestaurants.com. We will see you tonight for our 5 Reasons Sports Watch Party right here. The Quarterdeck, come for the food, stay for the fun. And guys, we have an official sports book here on Donno Daily. We were winning some quality bets over the weekend. BetUS.com. I can't recommend BetUS highly enough. They've got the best customer service in the industry. They've got the best bonuses in the industry to keep you playing longer. In fact, we have an awesome bonus for you at BetUS. When you sign up with our show code, 5RSN125. Sign up. When you make your deposit, they're going to ask if you have a promo code. You do. You have our promo code, 5RSN125, and receive a 125% sign-up bonus. So if you deposit $100, they're going to give you $125 of free play money on top of your deposit, and you're going to have fun. It may take you a little while to burn through that free play money, and that is absolutely awesome, my friends. BetUS.com is America's favorite sportsbook. They are the 3-decade leader. Join now for our 125% sign-up bonus with our promo code 5RSN125 and bet sports, casino, horses, pop culture props, and more at BetUS.com. You bet, you win, you get paid. BetUS.com. Now, part of the reason why that Miami Dolphins dub was so ugly last night. Actually, hold on. Before we get to that, I want to offer a treat here for everybody who's going to be coming out to our watch party here this evening. I apologize. Take a little trip with me. More commercials than the Super Bowl. Better commercials than the Super Bowl. But no, for everyone who's going to join us at the Quarterdeck Seafood Bar and Neighborhood Grill tonight, when you see Manny Chang out there, Manny, show the folks the shoes you're going to be wearing this evening. You're going to have the fortune or maybe the misfortune of actually seeing these in person. What do we call those? Foam runners? Is that what those are? I'm getting the big thumbs up. You get to see Manny Chang's Yeezy foam runners up close and in person. this evening at the quarterdeck Sawgrass. Oh my God. I guess I can't wait for that. Oh man. It's the slapping thing happening. I'm not sure. Hussam Patel doesn't live in Miami, so I'm not sure that Hussam is going to be there. But if Hussam Patel is able to drive down from Central Florida, and if he shows up tonight at the quarterdeck, I will allow him to slap me in the face, as he promised to do on Manny's shoes. I wouldn't offer those to a homeless man. Oh, wow. So Dolphins, Texans yesterday. Miami wins 17-9. As the score would imply, it was not the prettiest of performances. Very ugly on both sides. 9 combined turnovers. That's the most turnovers in a single NFL game since back in 2016. 9 combined turnovers. The Dolphins committed 5 of those. This is like Haley's Comet. It doesn't happen every single week, every single year, probably in the NFL, where you have a team committing that many turnovers and still finding a way to win the game. Now, the Texans committed 4 turnovers to add to that total yesterday. And we found out about 2 hours before the game, a report from Adam Schefter that Tua Tagovailoa. Now, we've known for several days leading up to it that he was dealing with some kind of an injury on his left throwing hand. It turned out it was a fracture in the middle finger of his left throwing hand. He was limited in practice for a couple of days because of that. And Adam Schefter reported around 10:45 and 11 a.m. before a 1 p.m. kickoff that Tua was not good to go, and that he would be not even inactive. He would be active, but he would serve as the backup quarterback, went through warm-ups and everything. The Dolphins don't really have an emergency quarterback, because remember, Reed Sinnott, our guy Sinnott to win it, that was botched by the front office to waive that guy, expecting him to clear waivers to bring him back to the practice squad. He didn't. He got poached by the Philadelphia Eagles. So Tua Tagovailoa was the backup yesterday, even though they decided he wasn't healthy enough to play. And Jacoby Brissett, as he's been all season, was bad, right? It was not a good performance. It was also a really rough offensive line performance. But thankfully, the opposition was Houston, and they are dreadfully bad. So the Dolphins were still able to win that game. And, listen, like Big Dan pointed out in the chat, the Dolphins are still a really bad football team. Houston is just a little bit worse. I certainly agree with that. You can't control the schedule. You can only beat the team that's in front of you. And yesterday, the Dolphins had a really piss-poor team in front of them. It's going to be a lot tougher this week. So you got a quick turnaround, Sunday to Thursday Night Football. And who comes to town? A team that's been haunting our nightmares for really since they've been in existence, ever since the old Cleveland Browns became the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens have haunted the Miami Dolphins. That is the team, Lamar Jackson and company. That's the team that comes to town on Thursday night. It's going to be a lot tougher, and there's also not a guarantee. I'm sure we'll find out more over the next couple of days, but knowing how close Brian Flores and the Dolphins keep everything to the vest, we probably won't know until a couple hours before kickoff whether Tua is good to go for this upcoming game, right? So we're not going to know that, I don't think, until very close to game time. Now, I asked this question not only in the title of this episode, but I also asked a question on Twitter, and I got a Twitter poll. I'd love it if Manny can pull up the results for me, at least the results where they stand right now, on Tua Tagovailoa, who did not start yesterday due to a hand injury. How concerned are you with Tua Tagovailoa's struggles to stay healthy and available? And I asked the question in the title of this episode, can the Miami Dolphins really depend on Tua? So I asked this on Twitter. How concerned are you with Tua's challenges in staying healthy and available? The 3 choices are very concerned, moderately concerned, or not at all concerned. And I see there Manny Chang, cheeky vote by you, sir. Manny Chang wrote, not at all concerned. They trail, though. 13.9% say not at all concerned. The leader is very concerned at 45.9% and moderately concerned at 40.9%. Now, why this has been a concern for me since the Dolphins drafted Tua. And I'm not going to say I didn't want to draft him. I did. I underestimated Justin Herbert, right? I thought the Dolphins absolutely did the right thing on draft night in 2020, passing on Justin Herbert and taking Tua. I admit I was wrong about that. But still, my one reservation on Tua Tagovailoa coming out of Alabama was still recovering from a hip injury at that point, had missed time due to various different injuries while he was at the Alabama Crimson Tide. My top concern with Tua was the durability and the size or lack thereof that can create those durability issues. We knew he had those concerns coming out of college. And unfortunately for Tua, he has not debunked any of those concerns so far in his career. In fact, injury concerns are the primary reason why I do not believe Tua Tagovailoa will ever reach quote-unquote franchise quarterback status in the NFL. Certainly not for this team with the state of that offensive line, okay? Now, in Tua's first season and a half so far in the National Football League, he's already missed 5 starts, and you can add in the majority of that Buffalo game where he got injured with the ribs, but he's missed 5 starts due to injury. That doesn't include the first 5 games of his rookie season where he'd not been introduced yet as the starter. So if you exclude those games, he's missed 5 of a possible 20 starts since that point. These are now 3 separate injury issues that Tua has had in the NFL. Now, I think a good thing is none of these are related to the hip surgery that he got in college. So at least the hip is not an issue, at least not yet. So I guess that's a blessing in disguise here. And yes, I am very willing to admit Tua Tagovailoa right now has a terrible, no good, horrible, very bad offensive line. I'm not disputing that. Now, I think it's worth pointing out that, Ryan Fitzpatrick 2 years in Miami. Now, I'm not comparing the offensive lines every year because the O-line in 2020, where Fitzpatrick played roughly half the season, a little bit less than that last year. The O-line in 2020 was better than it is this year. So I'm not saying the offensive lines are all created equal, but Ryan Fitzpatrick behind 2 offensive lines, 2019 was very bad, was able to avoid injury. And to Jacoby Brissett's credit, he sucks. He's not a good quarterback, but Jacoby Brissett has been getting mauled, has been getting hit a lot playing behind that O-line, and he's not gotten injured, okay? He's not had to miss any time with injuries. Now, the other part of it is, and I want to be fair here, because a couple of people commented on my Twitter poll, and they're not wrong, that the question that I asked was a loaded one, that it was a loaded question for a couple of reasons, right? Not every quarterback in the league plays behind an O-line as shaky as the one that Tua plays behind. And number 2, the situation yesterday was very odd, okay? Very odd. So let me just summarize the poll question by saying, yeah, I am legitimately concerned about Tua Tagovailoa's availability. I have been since he was drafted, right? I think that this is the guy that you're not going to be able to count on to get through full seasons healthy, even if the offensive line is better than it is right now. I just think that's who Tua is. The same patterns from college have now transcended into his time in the NFL. I just don't think he's the type of quarterback who's ever going to be an Iron Man and is ever going to be able to get through a season fully healthy. At the same time, can we talk about what happened yesterday in the fact that, the Dolphins don't really have a reliable third quarterback anymore because of the way they fumbled the Reed Sinnott situation. But Tua apparently was healthy enough throughout the week to practice. He was limited in practice, but he practiced, took most of the first team snaps. Healthy enough to go through warm-ups yesterday. Healthy enough to be the backup quarterback, which meant he would have played if necessary. If something happened to Jacoby Brissett, Tua would have played yesterday. But the coaching staff decided he wasn't fit to start. Now, I'm not doubting. I don't think this is a complete full-on conspiracy. I'm not going to put on my tinfoil hat. I'll pantomime it for a second, but I'm not going to put it on. I don't think this is a full-fledged conspiracy like some of you do, where you just thought yesterday was purely Brian Flores sabotage. That Brian Flores just decided Tua's fully fit, he's fully healthy, but I'm just going to sit him because I don't like it and I feel like it. I'm not going to go that far, okay? I'm going to at least believe that the swelling on Tua's hand was legit. And the idea that he couldn't grip the football enough to protect it fully and make every throw on the field, that was legit. But I will also say a couple of things, okay? If we're not talking about Tua Tagovailoa, if we're talking about a guy who's actually a franchise quarterback, you're not sitting him down for that, okay? That if that was Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, I know Aaron Rodgers didn't play yesterday, but that has nothing to do with a minor injury. Patrick Mahomes, I know he's having a rough year, but bear with me here for a second. Like, if that were a proven quarterback who has the belief of his coach, you're going to let him play. Tua wanted to play yesterday. Some coaches would have let him play. Brian Flores did not, all right? So there clearly is a disconnect and a lack of belief in Tua from the part of Brian Flores. I think we're going to know a lot more as to whether or not Tua plays or doesn't play this Thursday. If Tua doesn't play Thursday against the Ravens, you're going to say, okay, maybe this injury was a little bit worse than a lot of people thought. If he does play as if nothing happened, then you could say maybe there was something about Sunday. Because, folks, here's the other thing for me. We're going to be bringing on Alfredo Arteaga in just a second from 3 yards per carry. We can break this down with him as well. If he was healthy enough, which he was, to go through practices and to warm up, sitting him yesterday, it's another missed opportunity to evaluate, right? I mean, 6 days ago, when the trade deadline came and passed and Deshaun Watson did not arrive, what did we say on that show? Okay, great. This gives the Dolphins an opportunity of, at the time, 9 games. 9 more games of audition to have a better idea what you have or don't have in Tua before you decide to either get back into the Watson sweepstakes in March or to focus on getting another quarterback either in free agency, and there are going to be some guys available, or in the draft. And so you've just now burned one of those final 9 opportunities. There are now 8 left to evaluate Tua. And if you didn't have to sit him, I would have liked to have seen him get the opportunity to play, even with some swelling, maybe some discomfort. And I would have liked to see him get that opportunity to play through some adversity. That opportunity was not given to him yesterday. All right, let's go out to the guest line and bring in our very good friend. And I hope we see this man tonight at the Quarterdeck Sawgrass, who's always bringing his take strong with 3 yards per carry. And since it's a short week, Alfredo, you guys will be doing 1 episode this week, right? So it's going to be the 2 for 1. The Houston recap. You can recap that garbage from yesterday, but it was a win. And then the look ahead to Baltimore. Do I have that right?
Yeah. It's a great week to only work once and to only do one episode this week in this most challenging of seasons.
Oh, man. So, okay. What do you think about this Tua scenario? Now, I get it that neither you or I know exactly how bad that swelling is and exactly how inaccurate down the field he might have been because of it, but we do know that he did practice throughout the week, even if he was limited, and he was healthy enough by the admission of the team to warm up and serve as the backup quarterback. Are you disappointed that he didn't get the opportunity to start yesterday despite all that?
Yeah, I don't think that this team, they seem to earn on the side of the injured reserve list more often than not, right? Or more often than most teams, because It always seems to get out from these players through people that they know or through social media that, hey, I could have played, but the coach made me inactive. We've already had Preston Williams, Tua Tagovailoa, and Devontae Parker essentially allude to that. Will Fuller is a special case. Like his finger evidently is going to be amputated or something because he hasn't played all year due to a finger. Okay,
it's crazy.
He's played 14 snaps in one game and played the Raider game 50 snaps, I believe, 51 snaps.
Oh man!
So he's a special case, but they seem to, for whatever reason, they let the man warm up yesterday. He looked fine in warm-ups. Naturally, he's not. You're throwing about 70%. You're not throwing with everything you got. But they said, he couldn't make all the throws. Well, him not being able to make all the throws is better than any of the throws that Jacoby Brissett can make. So
thank you.
I don't understand why he didn't play. Okay. But, that's this coaching staff. And what can you say? It's been a special year.
Yeah, and even with all that, and I admit, like the Twitter poll that I put out, it is a loaded question because there's more to it than just Tua missing games. But then the bottom line is, since he became a starter in October of last year, he's had 20 games since that point, and he's missed 5 of those now, maybe 6 if he doesn't play this week. He's missed 5 of 20. He's missed a quarter of those games due to 3 separate injuries. And there's a pattern back in Alabama. He suffered multiple different injuries. How worried are you about his availability and his durability, Alf? Because to me, that's always been the knock on Tua. Like, that's always been my hang up on the idea of Tua, becoming the next great Miami Dolphins franchise quarterback is I just don't see enough evidence this guy can stay on the field consistently.
Well, I tend to toss out college career because, it's always different in the NFL. But since he's come over to the NFL, he's missed 1 game due to a thumb injury last year that supposedly he says he could have played through. But They didn't want him to play. That was against the Jets, okay? This year, you come to this year, and then he gets a rib injury, and he's out for 3 games on the IR, and now he misses another one due to a finger. All of this has to be part of the evaluation. And, you're not going to put on your tinfoil hat, right, when it's time to evaluate. Maybe Brian Flores really just got over on us, right? If it really is a conspiracy, it's a well-thought-out one that's going to work. Because at this rate, by February, all of us are going to be sitting here saying, yeah, we kind of like the young quarterback. He's developing nicely, but availability is one of the most important traits you could have in a quarterback. And therefore, we got to move on. We got to trade for Deshaun Watson. And I think that's where we are headed. And I don't see it changing anytime soon.
Alfredo Arteaga from 3 Yards Per Carry is with us here on Donno Daily on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Let's evaluate some of the good from yesterday, okay? I like to be optimistic when I can. There was definitely some good stuff on defense. I mean, no touchdowns given up, and they only actually – now, Houston, of course, is bad. But Houston, despite 5 takeaways, only managed to get 6 points off of 5 takeaways yesterday. But on offense as well, Alf, listen, there are a lot of players at every position that we could probably do without in the future, including all those wide receivers who can't get on the field. But if there are 2 guys I want to make sure we're building around in the coming years on the offensive side of the football, it's Mike Gesicki, because that dude is not human. I mean, holy shit, a couple of those one-handed grabs. He nearly had a third one-handed grab yesterday. They need to get that guy a new contract yesterday. And I also really like Jalen Waddle. I know people make jokes about Waddle. He's Mr. 5 yards per catch, but I think a lot of that is just on the way the plays are being called and the offensive line not giving enough time and who's throwing him the football. Like, honestly, you tell me 2 players on that offense I want to make sure we're building around. To me, it's Waddle and Gesicki.
Yeah, and I couldn't help but the first play of the game was an 8-yard pass to Jalen Waddle. So it was Waddle for 8 yards on the first play of the game, and I looked at him and I almost want to leave and go for a walk after this. But yeah, you kind of like those 2 guys, right? Like that's what you have to build around. I was one that I was on the postgame show. I was saying, I was really impressed with the way the defense played. I understand it's just the Houston Texans, but still is Tyrod Taylor, it's Brandon Cooks, it's those running backs. I thought the defense played against 2 offenses trying to set up Houston Texan points. And all they gave up was 3 field goals. So it was as good a performance that we've seen from this defense in the last 2 years, easily.
And let's talk about a couple of the rookies on that defense. I thought Jalen Phillips had a nice game, was disruptive. He had half a sack in the game. And Javon Holland, and I know Javon Holland did have a giveaway on special teams. We got to clean that up, of course. But defensively played well, got his first career interception. So before we get to some of the veterans, what did you think about a couple of the rooks out there, Holland and Phillips?
Yeah, especially Phillips, right? Like Phillips had some plays where he was rushing wide end and chasing down the play from behind. The play was leaving to the field side, and he was chasing down and making the tackle 14 yards down the field. I thought he played exceptionally well. This is one of his better games as a pro. And Javon Holland, he's coming along. The only thing that's going to hold back Javon Holland is the mental side of the game, and that's going to be there. It's going to get there because he's a smart kid, and I expect him to be much, much better going forward. He's getting there. So you got to really like this class. As much as you don't like the 2020 class, and there's no way to like that 2020 class right now. The 2021 class looks okay, right? Yeah. Except for that left tackle that's, I guess it's contagious, right? What's going on the offensive line?
Oh, yeah, and let's talk a little bit about that because, Liam Eichenberg and Jesse Davis, I thought, had especially bad games on a bad offensive line. Like there have been a few moments, over the last month and a half where it's like the offensive line has looked like they're getting better. And then, of course, against teams like Buffalo and Tampa Bay, you kind of expect them to get exposed. I didn't expect them to get exposed by the Houston Texans. I mean, J.J. Watt was not coming through that door. Merciless not coming through that door. So, I mean, is there any hope for this personnel, or do they just have to completely revamp this whole line in the next offseason?
Yeah, it's a complete revamp. I think you're kind of happy with Robert Hunt. you kind of see that they have some options at center, right? Like, Michael Dieter, that's another problem, right? Like your center has to be a guy that's available, that has to play. He has to play 16, 17 games because that's not a position that you want to have. You want to have continuity at the position, right? But you have some options. Michael Dieter looks okay. Greg Mance has played fine when he's been in there. I really like Austin Reeder. I think Austin Reeder has looked pretty well the last 3 weeks when he's played. It was odd that they started Greg Mance and then all of a sudden he gets injured and they're basically forced to play the better guy at center, right?
Yeah.
But other than that, I guess you have the development of Liam Eichenberg. So maybe you move him to left guard. Other than that, you got to have 3 new starters on the offensive line next season because there's just nothing. I think the Austin Jackson thing is almost a done deal. The Jesse Davis thing was a done deal by week 2. So I don't know. It's a total revamp on the offensive line. And I don't trust them to use draft picks no more. Just go out there in free agency, spend. You're gonna get pros that are good, that don't need as much coaching as new guys do. Just go and spend money and just fill it up with pros.
I love your prediction with Baltimore coming to town this Thursday. It's a quick turnaround, and I don't know. Maybe you can venture a guess as to whether you think Tua is going to play or not to play. That's kind of a toss up. But how do you think that's going to look this Thursday? Because not only are the Ravens good, the Ravens have owned the Dolphins for a long outside of the one win in 2007 where we avoided 0-16. The Ravens have had our number.
Yeah, the Ravens, it's a different team, right? Like this is not, I don't know how to say it. This is not your daddy's Baltimore Ravens. They're good on offense. They run the ball well. But on defense, they do one thing and one thing only. They stop the run. I don't think that matters with the Dolphins. The Dolphins don't run.
We don't run. We can't run on Houston. What do we care about Baltimore?
Exactly. But they give up passing yards and points by the bushel on defense. They're not a good defensive team this year. They have a lot of injuries. So you should be able to score. The problem is holding down Lamar Jackson and that run offense. And he's getting better, by the way, each and every year.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to be a little bit different. Usually Baltimore, when the Dolphins play Baltimore, they play a really physical game. They just beat the hell out of them for 60 minutes, and it's a blowout, right? This time it's going to be a little bit different, I think. I think if Tua plays, they're going to have an opportunity to score some points, and maybe they have a shot at winning the game in the fourth quarter because it's a short week and they're at home. But it's going to be different. It's going to be interesting to see the dynamic on Thursday. And like I told Ethan earlier, he asked me, what's the storyline coming out of that game? And I'm like, there's no way they can win against the Ravens. If they lose, it's just what we expected, right?
Right.
If they win, it just makes the massive disappointment that this season has been that much larger. Because then you're looking at it and say, we wasted a win against the Baltimore Ravens in a year where they're not going anywhere. So, yeah, it's like, I guess you would want to win because there's no downside to losing, right?
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely not. Yeah, I want to see something.
Downside to losing. You're handing Philadelphia a better pick, right?
That's a good point.
So the mission now is to win as many games as possible to ruin that pick for Philadelphia and make sure that your pick, San Francisco pick, is better. Because right now the spread is 3-9.
Oof.
Their pick is 3rd. Our pick is 9th.
Oh.
So you want to flip those somehow. So more wins will do it.
God, yeah, I need to get that San Fran pick in like the top 6 if we can. But just make sure then Chris Greer is not the guy drafting, because then if you have a top 6 pick, it's not going to matter anyway. I love it as always. Great conversations we have with Alfredo Arteaga from 3 Yards Per Carry. New episode dropping tonight, yes?
No, tomorrow night, because tonight there is a watch party.
Yes!
Yes.
Yeah, I'll see you out there, my friend.
All right.
Looking forward to it. Awesome stuff as always there from Alfredo Arteaga. Make sure, you guys should already. Yeah, we're going to see Manny's shoes.
Oh boy, those shoes are going to be there.
No, now you're going to scare Alfredo away. He's not showing up now.
Wow. All right.
Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you in a few hours, Alf.
All right, thank you for having me.
Awesome, good stuff there. Oh man, and by the way, how perfect was this comment from Rafa in Miami, because we're about to talk with Nick from the Daily Stakes. He says, Donno, he knows I'm the mush. Everybody knows I'm the mush. Please bet on the Ravens and give the Dolphins a fighting chance this week. I'm not even sure what the spread is. I'm sure it's really ugly, but I'll check that out, and I'm either going to stay away from it or I'm going to bet on the Ravens. I'm definitely not betting on the Dolphins, even though the Dolphins did cover yesterday. The Dolphins actually covered the spread yesterday, so there was that. Oh man, guys, I want to remind you, we have been kicking ass and winning cash with the Daily Stakes. The dailystakes.com, the newest partner on Donno Daily, they empower you with the same analytics used by both the sharps and the sports books. In other words, instead of going by my eye test and my gut test, you can actually go by sound, hard numbers and analytics that the Daily Stakes bring you. Daily Stakes founders, Nick and Dylan, they are massive sports fans. They both joined us on the show. Nick's going to join us in a second. And they also come from professional backgrounds in financial modeling, corporate consulting, and data analytics. So they understand all aspects of the sports betting industry inside and out. From the eye test, yes, but also more importantly, the analytics, the trends, and how to harness this knowledge to give you the edge that you need to win. They offer comprehensive coverage from all the major sports leagues, including our beloved NFL, NBA, NHL, where the Florida Panthers are kicking butt, Major League Baseball, and the UFC. Their track record is proven and transparent, so you can clearly see how they do week in and week out. If you become a member, you unlock exclusive perks like weekly giveaways and contests. So become a member today. You can unlock the All Sports Trial. This is the way to get started. An All Sports Trial for just $1. You have nothing to lose. You access everything. And then once your trial is over, you can go with either the one sports league of your choice, like the NFL or NBA, for just $14.99 a month. I think this is the best deal in the industry, $14.99 a month, or the best deal of them all, the all sports plan for just $29.99 a month. Play smarter and bet smarter with the Daily Stakes. Sign up at thedailystakes.com. So we bring in now our good friend, Nick from the Daily Stakes, who joins us here on Donno Daily. Nick, good afternoon, sir. And if you weren't up there north of the border in Montreal, or maybe you can catch like a plane really quick, we'd love to see you out at our watch party tonight at the Quarterdeck in Fort Lauderdale. I know it might be tough for you to get down here.
I'd love to come down because it's going to get cold over here in Montreal. So
how cold? I know you guys have your weird Celsius. We're cavemen down here with our Fahrenheit, but I imagine it's a lot colder up there than it is down here.
Yeah, throughout last week, I think it was about 2 degrees. It was winter jacket weather, sweatpants, the type of stuff you don't want. This weekend was a little nicer. I was able to wear shorts and a hoodie,
Nice.
but something I'm trying to get out of in the future. I don't want to be in the winters anymore.
I don't blame you, bro. I don't blame you. But there's downsides. Like I always feel like the perfect weather-wise place to live is Southern California, because it's like it's always like moderate. Like down here, it's great this time of year, but then in the summer we're just sweating our asses off. So it's there's good and the bad to it. But I'll tell you something good. My Miami Heat are looking fantastic. Now, they did have a tough one late last week, Thursday night, a loss to the Boston Celtics, didn't play well, and I thought Kyle Lowry was going to have to miss some time. He rolled an ankle in that game. I didn't expect him to play Saturday. Not only did he play against Utah, puts up a triple-double. I mean, had a fantastic performance, and the Heat had a statement freaking win against the Utah Jazz. They go out for a road trip now, Nick, and I really need your help for this one because the Heat are on the road at the Denver Nuggets. Last I checked, the Heat were favored by about 1.5. Now, history would say the Heat never do well over in Denver, but this is not the same Heat team I think of the last couple of years, and Denver's been pretty uneven. But that arena has been a house of horrors for the Miami Heat. So, what are you thinking for tonight, Heat at Nuggets?
Good question. Honestly, I was looking at this game earlier because I'm too a huge Heat fan, honestly. I love betting on these guys. They've been super profitable for me this year. They've covered the spread 7 out of the 9 games. So
that's awesome.
Wherever, other than the Boston Celtics game, which was a little disappointing, they came out to impress. Entering tonight against Denver, there's a lot of more money, public money, I would say, on the Heat, just given the Heat and the recent news that happened with the Nuggets. You got Jamal Murray out, you got Michael Porter Jr. out, and kind of the Denver Nuggets offense is very, very dependent on Nikola Jokic. I mean, this guy's a star. I have him in my fantasy team, first pick overall. He's been crushing it from a fantasy perspective. But you're going up against the Miami Heat, and they've showed the grit. They just beat a Utah Jazz team that was at full strength. And I personally going to lean with the Miami Heat on the money line. A plus -1.5. The books are giving you a -125. That's tremendous value because you're not risking on the spread. You never know what can happen at the end of the game. But taking the Heat money line against the Nuggets that are shorthanded and kind of don't have the offensive power that they had last year, I think is the play tonight on that game. I know Denver is 3-1 at home with kind of a plus 5.8 point rating. So it means they cover the spread very confidently. But you got Bam Adebayo that's going to lock up Jokic. And then you got support from around them. You got PJ Tucker. You got Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry. I mean, these guys are all vets, and they're all going out to play. So if anybody's betting on that game, Heat money line all the way.
Yeah, and one of the incredible thing about the Heat has been, and not to say that defensively they were that great against Utah. Both offenses got off in that game, but overall, I mean, they have the potential, I think, to be the best defensive team in the NBA. And then on the offensive end of the floor, as much as I would love to see, a guy like Jimmy Butler be an MVP candidate, maybe he will be, but I just don't see him winning MVP because you don't know which night who's going to step up. And it's such an unselfish group, right? Where some of the names you mentioned on any given night, it could be Kyle Lowry's game to really dominate. It could be Bam's. It could be Jimmy's. Or it could be Tyler Hero, who led the team in scoring against Utah off the bench with 29 points. He's been fantastic. So I think it just makes it so hard. And Duncan Robinson is not even having a good year. I think at some point he's going to find his shot again. They just don't know opposing defenses who's going to step up on any given night.
Yeah, agreed. And funny enough, you said that about Jimmy Butler running for MVP. I actually took him on a futures bet at plus 4,000 to win MVP.
Well, that's great odds. Listen, I'm not going to fault you for that. I have a hard time seeing him win it, but he's definitely going to be in the discussion. So those odds are fantastic.
Agreed. I mean, you're going up against other individuals. You're going up against Giannis. You're going up against Nikola Jokic, Ja Morant, Stephen Curry. I think it's going to be a race between Jimmy Butler, Stephen Curry, and maybe Joel Embiid, just given the recent form he's had with Simmons being out of the 76ers. But at plus 4,000, honestly, you couldn't say no to that. Even if you put $5 to $10, you still have some skin in the game, and it's worth a watch.
Yeah, that's a pretty good return for that sort of an investment, no doubt. As far as NBA betting this year, you've mentioned that the Heat have been great to bet on, 7 covers in 9 games. So anybody who's been riding the Heat all season long against the spread, you're probably watching the show from your yacht right now, or your second yacht at this point. But what if like outside of the Heat, what has betting been like on the NBA? Have there been a lot of surprises? Like you'd mentioned to me, there's been a lot of really big spreads this year. Has it been a more complicated season so far than you expected?
It's been a little, I wouldn't say easier, but a little more comfortable entering these games compared to last year with COVID. This year, the under beginning of the season has hit at tremendous rates. I think it's hitting at a 65% clip. The unders in all games, and that's because of poor offensive shootings from teams like Portland, like Lillard still hasn't found the shot. The players are complaining that there's a new ball. James Harden hasn't been doing as well as either. So the offensive rating for some of these teams has not been good. So individuals who've been betting on the under have been making a good amount of money. And kind of teams that I have identified as profitable for myself and for our clients is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Up until Colin Sexton got injured, the books are underestimating their ability. I mean, these guys, they're all 6'5". They're starting lineup other than Garland and Sexton. You're going up against Lauri Markkanen, Jared Allen, who's been an absolute beast on the boards, and they've just been cover kings on the spread. Books are giving you over 5 points per game that they play against the Lakers, against the Raptors, and they've just been winning the game. All right. Then you got the Toronto Raptors, who, to be quite honest, I didn't think were going to do as well as they are, but they've also been cover kings. So they've been doing tremendously well, especially at the underdog spot.
Are there a lot of Raptors fans in Montreal, or is there the whole Canadian province rivalry thing? Does that come into play, or are people up there just hey, it's Canada's team, we root for them?
No, it's Canada's team, we root for them.
Nice.
There's no rivalry here. If we're talking about Canadians versus Maple Leafs, then you got another story.
See, I wasn't sure because I'm also a hockey fan, and I know how bitter it gets up there with hockey, so I wasn't sure about basketball.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The rivalry is next level.
Yeah, I want to look at Monday Night Football tonight as well. The 4-3 Pittsburgh Steelers hosting the 3-5 Chicago Bears. Steelers are touchdown favorites at home, and of course, if there's anything you like, point spread and any props you might like, because you guys like the Daily Stakes, they give us picks every week, and a lot of these props you guys have been giving us are absolutely clutch, and it's stuff I would not have necessarily even thought to look for before you give them to us, which I really appreciate. So, what stands out to you from Monday night tonight?
Yeah. So I mean, the game between the Bears and Steelers lined open up on -5.5. Public is hammering the Steelers, just given what's Justin Fields' recent performances lately. Line moved up to -7, and the over/under set at 39.5. And then when you look at the percentage of money and bets on either side, it's kind of even. So it's kind of a toss-up, I would say. The only good thing here is that the Steelers are getting back running back Najee Harris, and they won 3 straight ever since he came back. So with a Monday Night Football game, especially coming up what happened yesterday on Sunday, how underdogs over-impressed, made a lot of people a lot of money for those who rolled them on the parlay. Vegas has set the total so low at 39.5 that you can't just bet the under. It's very risky. You never know what could happen. Both teams could go off. And with the spread set at -7 for the Steelers, I have no faith personally in Justin Fields. I don't think Big Ben is someone you should put your money on too often. So for tonight's game, we're not touching any full game spreads. We're going more with a player prop. And the reason being is because Chicago Bears have given a lot of pressure to quarterbacks. You got quarterbacks Tom Brady, Derek Carr, and Aaron Rodgers, who haven't surpassed the 249 mark. So our pick of the night or our player prop would be Big Ben under 249 passing yards against the Bears.
That's a good shout. That's a great shout. You mentioned it, by the way. I saw some people like tweeting out photos of their betting slips where they hit these incredible parlays yesterday. Like as a professional in the sports betting space, do you play a lot of parlays? Now, I'm not a pro. Like, I'm an avid bettor, but I'm not a pro. Like, I every now, like, I'll play parlays sometimes. Like, if it's international breaks in soccer, you'll have a lot of big favorites. I'll parlay them together. Sometimes college football, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do a whole lot in the NBA, NFL. I know some people who seem to only play parlays, and I kind of look at them as a lottery ticket. Like, are you big on parlays, or is it something you kind of shy away from?
We're really big on straight bets here. We recommend to everybody for straight bets.
Yeah.
Parlays are good if you have maybe, I guess, $0 to $100 that you're willing to risk to lose or to make 50 times return. Parlays are the most fun, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like a lottery ticket is the way that I look at it. Yeah.
But it's not a way for you to make extreme amounts of money with sports betting. Straight bets are the way. Take all the bets that are recommended, straight them. Follow a unit system. Make sure you're consistent in your betting. You don't want to bet on emotion. You don't want to bet heavier than the day before because that just screws up your bankroll. And then you're always chasing. Once you're chasing, your mind's not there. You end up losing more money. And it's just a cycle that you don't want to get into.
Have you seen Uncut Gems? Which is, to me, it's, oh my God, what a freaking fantastic movie. And whenever I watch that, I'm like, man, I love to bet on sports, but I'm glad I'm not as demented as that dude.
Imagine betting like a 16 parlay with Kevin Garnett winning the opening tip. I mean, you gotta love risk at that level. But parlays, honestly, if you ask Mass and Dylan, I think I've cooked up maybe 5 parlays over the last 5 weeks, and I've missed them all by 1 game.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Yeah. In fact, that happened to me a couple of weeks ago because we just had 2 back-to-back UFC pay-per-views, and I think it was not this past week, but the one before. I had a 5-fight parlay, and I just needed Jan Blachowicz to win against Glover Teixeira in the main event, and we saw what happened there, and I would have gotten a good return. I'm like, I'm on the last fight. I thought Blachowicz would win easily, and then boom, the parlay is gone.
That's what happens with favorites too. You know, gotta be careful. A lot of the public tends to lean towards favorites just because of what they see on the news, what they know, who they're familiar with. But it's literally the underdogs are the ones that make you the most money, especially if you follow the lineups more closely than others. It's what brings out makes you profit in sports betting over the long term.
Well, really good stuff here, Nick, and there's a lot we can learn from Nick and the guys, Dylan and Mass as well, from the dailystakes.com. And make sure, like, you guys, you could sign up. You can get the 1 week $1 trial, which is fantastic. That way you can see if you like the service, and then you can do one sport for under $15 a month, all sports for just under $30 a month. It's the best deal in the industry, honestly. And you can also get 20% off if you use our code 5 FIVE at checkout. Nick, thank you so much, man, and enjoy the games tonight.
Thank you, Alex. You as well. Have a good one.
Awesome stuff as always there. And that's really good insight, man. Great insight on parlays. We're going to get some great insight here on the best freaking team in the National Basketball Association. We missed you last week, but Alana Tohauer is back. Alana, it's so great to see you. How are you?
I have to confess something. I got my booster shot and I tend to get a little high off them. So I am a hot mess right now. My mind, I feel like I'm on speed. I don't know why this is the way I react, but if I'm crazy, it's because of that.
You know, I follow Allana on Twitter, as everyone should, at Alana Tohauer, and I did see that you got your booster, and I was like, man, I hope she's okay. You know, around 3:45 when she joins the show, and I'm not gonna say I haven't gotten the booster yet, but when I got the first two rounds, I'm not gonna say that I necessarily got high off of it. But I did feel like I felt fine, bordering on a little bit more energetic than usual.
Yeah,
so I consider us lucky because I know some people, and I hope everyone is out there getting your shots. But I know for some people they had like these really bad, reactions that made them sick. Like I felt fine, and apparently
some of my friends slept for like 10 hours. And the first time I got it, my first dose was at like 11 a.m. I was bouncing off the walls till 3 a.m. Like Oreos were falling on my head because I like couldn't grab something out of my pantry. It was a mess. Second one, not as bad, but like I'm feeling it right now. Like I'm on like 2000 adrenaline. So if I seem off, it's because of that. I am not on anything else. I swear. Also, I don't know who Aaron Rodgers is anymore. I'm not familiar with that man.
Oh yeah, I mean, listen. He's a weirdo.
I don't know if I can be a Packers fan anymore. Like that, I don't know if I can support the entire organization now because it's like he is the pillar of that, which makes me feel sad, right? Because it's not the rest of the team's fault or the organization, but it's like I don't know. They were playing the other day, and I'm like, I can't watch.
Well, he's probably gone next year anyway, so you won't have to worry. He'll be somebody else's problem next year. So you can go.
Like what he did though is worse than Kyrie, and I'm like, I thought Kyrie was like the bottom of the barrel with this, topic, and then he came along, and I'm like, look, guy, like you don't have any business on. Just close your mouth. Right. Don't speak on it anymore.
Because at least Kyrie was upfront about it, which I assume is what you're hinting at. Whereas, Rodgers was, he just wanted to make sure nobody knew, and then he's breaking protocols. Like, it's messy.
Yeah, I mean, I like a good loophole in life, but like you just flat out lied. Like that's not a loophole anymore. You just lied to people's faces. So yeah, just like Royal and I think we're just kind of taking a step back from the Packers. Someone tried to bring him up, I think, on like Clutch Corner the other night, and we're like, who is that? Aaron Rodgers? Never heard of him.
Oh, yeah, Royal too. That's another Packers fan. Oh, it's too funny. It's too funny. Alana Tohauer joins us here on Donno Daily on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. What a last couple of games it's been for the Heat. You had the disappointment against Boston, and then what a way to bounce back. Now, fortunately, because I'm so happy Kyle Lowry didn't miss a game, but it's like he completely negated the show that I did on Friday. Because on Friday after the Boston game, I'm like, we're going to see what these guys can do without Lowry. I think he's going to miss some time. I don't know how long he's going to be out. And then I think just to spite me, Lowry shows up on Saturday night and he gets a triple-double and he looked freaking amazing. But this team, again, Alana, if we had any doubts this past Thursday from a really disappointing performance against Boston, you see what they did against Utah, what they've done for most of the season. This is the best team in the NBA right now.
Yeah. And the thing is, I understand the game against Boston hurt. It hurt me too. The overreactions, though, were wild. Yeah. And don't even get me started on the entire Trey Duncan topic. Like, I could go on for days. But, Kyle, I hope that if he was really injured, he would have taken the time. I just think he's the kind of guy to play through anything. And I fully respect that too.
Yeah, no doubt. And as far as Duncan goes, I mean, I really thought on Saturday because he hit a really early three, like he hit his first 3 attempt, and I'm like, here we go, the Duncan game. And then he proceeded to miss his next 4, and he only scores 3 points of the game. Now, I almost kind of look at the fact that he's playing poorly, and I'm just an optimist, okay? But I look at the fact that Duncan has been poor all season. I look at it as a positive because look how good they are, even though he's not really showing up, because eventually we all know he's going to get hot. Also, eventually, Victor Oladipo, I think, unless our guy Michael Christian has completely mushed him, Victor Oladipo is going to be introduced and integrated at some point. So if Duncan gets hot and Victor comes in and everybody else, including Tyler Hero, keeps playing the way that they're playing, this team's going to be even better.
Yeah, and that's how I was feeling about Kyle. I know people were like, okay, well, he's distributing well, but what about his offense and like creating his own shots? And I'm like, guys, if we look this good before Kyle even starts hitting his own shots, like imagine what's going to happen once he does. And he's already started and we already look that much better. So yeah, I'm not worried about Duncan. If this continues, near the trade deadline, that's something to maybe consider. But to have this conversation now, I'm just like, at this point, people just want to talk. Like it seems like they're just itching to talk for trades because they have nothing better to say. So let's just stop. Like it's forced at this point. And honestly, I know that professionals need to work through their own mental issues like on their own time, but it's not going to help him, right? Like if all the fan base is sitting there being like, get rid of him now after however many games, it's just like, how do you expect him to get better? So I'm with you. Like if this is a problem now and we look this good, imagine when he's back.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. And by the way, God bless Michael Christian. I love like it. I referred to the Heat and I agree. I believe this, obviously I said it, that they are the best team in the NBA right now. I truly believe that. I wouldn't say it if I didn't, but I love how Michael Christian, Mush Jr., he's in the chat basically taking victory laps about predicting the Heat to make it to the finals.
Do you see what I have to deal with? Like every little thing he's right on. Like I can be like, I don't think it's going to rain in Chicago. And he'll be like, I think it is. And then I'm like, oh, there's a rain droplet. And he's just like, see, I know everything. Like he does not miss an opportunity, but Virgo things, honestly, if we're being fully transparent, it's just, he's a triple Virgo. What can we do?
Yeah. Cause I'm a Virgo, but apparently I'm not a triple Virgo.
And he's going to be, I feel like he's going to lap you as the mush if he doesn't stop, because every podcast his takes get more and more intense and more bold every week.
Well, it's like you give this guy a finger and he takes the whole arm because like the Heat are, what are they, 8-2 now on the year? Like they're off to a tremendous start, yet he's already taken the premature victory lap of NBA Finals. I'm like, dude, you got to slow your roll a little bit, man.
Well, you guys know who to blame if something suddenly goes wrong. It's right here. It's Michael.
Yeah. Now Michael did say he thinks the mush is over for him because he did pick the Dolphins to win against the Texans.
Yeah, but does that count because it's another sport?
Yeah.
Like,
plus,
it's
like,
over?
And also the Texans are so bad. Like I will
the Dolphins,
admit,
like they were bound to win at some point. At least I would hope so.
I did mush the Texans, though, because I bet the Texans, but I bet them to cover the spread. I didn't know if they could actually win the game, but then the Dolphins covered the spread. So I did mush the Texans, if we're being fair. So maybe I'm still, that's why I'm mush senior and he's mush junior, because I'm even more of a mush than he is. Now, speaking of mushes, I hope nobody is mushing the Heat tonight, because now the Heat are favorites, about 1.5 favorites on the road in Denver. And the Heat are better than the Denver Nuggets. However, the Heat never win in Denver. Like this is like, I'm always worried about this one.
Well, and you know what else? Ethan's having a watch party, which never goes well for us. So...
I'm going to be there. So the mush will be in full effect.
Oh, that's exciting. I'm jealous. I feel like I should just randomly fly down and be like, surprise, I'm here. But yeah, hopefully maybe like you and him together will counteract the mush.
As long as we keep Michael out of the building.
Yeah, Michael, please stay at home tonight. Don't even go anywhere near this. Don't watch the game.
Yeah, I've done that before. Like when the Heat were losing badly to the Celtics, I thought maybe I have some power over this. So I flipped off of the game and I put on the Florida Panthers game. And at the time that I flipped over, the Panthers were up 4-1. And then within minutes, it was tied at 4-4.
Oh, so you're just bad luck across the board.
Just bad. It doesn't matter what sport it is. It doesn't even matter what sport it is. But what do you like matchup wise tonight? What's it going to take for the Heat to get it done this evening?
Yeah, I think that they just need to be, obviously strong on both ends of the floor, but I think defense especially is going to be where they need to lock it down. And I keep saying this, the fact that we're playing team ball, I think is going to be really helpful because it's not just going to be one guy. It's not just going to be Bam or just going to be Jimmy. I think if guys, fire on all cylinders across the board, and even if it's, I get a lot of criticism for like backing PJ and Keith, but as long as they're playing a role, it doesn't matter what they're really doing. They just need to be strong in something. They just need to basically fill the void of where it needs to be. The same thing goes for, a guy like Tyler. I think he's going to be fine, but if he's having like a shooting drought again, just, bulk up a little bit more and then help on defense. So I just think that as long as everyone is playing some sort of role that works together as a puzzle, we should be fine. I don't love the Nuggets. They don't interest me. So it'll feel even better to win, I think.
Yeah, same. And by the way, you brought up something about just how much team ball the Heat play. So, and I was saying this earlier to Nick from the Daily Stakes, like as much as I would love to see our guy Jimmy win the MVP, I'd rather him win finals MVP than league MVP. But as much as I'd love to see Jim VP win that award, I think he's too unselfish. And since you don't know night in and night out who's going to step in and be the focal point of the offense, I just don't see him winning MVP because I just don't think he's going to even stand out enough amongst his teammates.
That's literally almost word for word what I said on the last episode of Feel the Heat, because Michael and I were talking about this. And the problem is, I actually think that him having great performances amongst the fact that he has like a great backups or just guys to play alongside should make him more of a candidate. Like to me, if he's having standout performances alongside Bam and Kyle and Tyler, that's more of a reason. But I think you're right. And the league is just going to see that his numbers maybe aren't as strong or that, the Heat are winning because of team effort. And I don't think he's going to get it. And I think you and I have talked about this. People love to hate the Heat. And for better or worse, I think that's just how it's been, regardless of who's on the roster. So I would love him to be even in conversation. But I don't know if it's going to happen.
Alana Tohauer, great work as always. You see where you follow her on Twitter at Alana Tohauer. And when's the next Feel the Heat dropping?
So we are recording tonight. Hopefully this, whatever you want to call this, wears off a little bit because I don't know if I can keep a train of thought. I've already warned Michael. And then Clutch Corner is actually taking over post game on Wednesday.
Awesome.
I don't know if I'll be able to stay awake and alert considering that I think the game's at like 9 p.m. my time. But you guys should join us. We'll have a bunch of fun. So the Heat content continues.
I love it. The Heat content never stops here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Alana, thank you so much and enjoy the game tonight.
Thank you.
Awesome job as always. And I like that. It's instead of the booster making her feel down and tired, she goes up like 10 notches. I love that. I love that. I'm going to see what happens. At some point I'm going to get my booster. We'll see how that goes for me. Man, it's been a lot of fun here today on Donno Daily. Again, I hope anybody who's local, even if you're not, get your ass in the car, drive, take a flight, whatever. Hope to see you guys tonight at the Quarterdeck Seafood Bar and Neighborhood Grill. The Sawgrass location, it's in Plantation. You could say Sunrise or Plantation. It's right on the border, and it's on Sunrise Boulevard, very close to the FLA Live Arena where the Florida Panthers play, very close to the Sawgrass Mills Mall. Oh, my guy, Brooklyn Rob, coming into the clutch. He says, just donating so Manny does not wear those shoes tonight. Sorry, I can't make it, but I will be there in spirit. Oh, Brooklyn Rob, we love you, sir. Thank you so much. And, yeah, if you guys are able to make donations in the super chat like Brooklyn Rob just did, we love you for it, and I make sure that the tip money, the tip jar, it goes to our producers, so you can you can help fund Manny Chang's ugly sneaker addiction if you make a super chat donation. Thank you so much, and I hope even if Brooklyn Rob cannot make it, I hope a number of other people can, because I hope we see you out there here tonight. So. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Thursday night, seeing as to whether or not Tua Tagovailoa suits up again and plays quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, right? He's missed now since he was instituted as the starter in Game 6 of last year, 20 possible games since that point. He's now missed 5 starts out of 20. Now, there are some semantics here because for Tua not playing yesterday, he wanted to play. He went through warmups. Maybe you blame Brian Flores more than you blame Tua for not playing yesterday. Obviously, there are durability issues with Tua. Obviously, there are issues with him avoiding injuries. That was a trend for him in college, as it's been so far in the National Football League. And if you've watched me and listened to me over, the last year plus, you know that that's my number one reservation about Tua. I think that he has certainly the heart, certainly the moxie and the intelligence, and I think he does have, when he's healthy, the physical ability to be a great quarterback in this league. I just worry about him staying in the lineup consistently, and that's the type of thing that can keep someone from being a true franchise quarterback, because sometimes is, who was it, Jimmy Johnson, who said, or it might have been Bill Parcells, all credit to either or both of them, your best ability is availability. And that's been an issue for Tua Tagovailoa. And I said it during the whole saga around Deshaun Watson, that I don't necessarily think, at least not until his legal issues are cleared, I don't necessarily think Deshaun Watson is the answer, because he brings in so many uncertainties and so much baggage. So I was relieved that they did not acquire him at the deadline last Tuesday. But just because I don't necessarily think Deshaun Watson and his issues are the answer doesn't mean I think Tua is. And he has now 8 more games this season, potentially. We'll see if he plays Thursday, but a maximum 8 more games this season to continue that audition and prove to the coaching staff, to the front office, to ownership, because ownership would obviously have to sign off on, bringing in a guy like Deshaun Watson in the near future. He's got up to 8 more games to prove he deserves more time. This is essentially an 8-game audition. And I'm very disappointed yesterday that due to that swelling in his hand and due to Brian Flores deciding that, hey, it's kind of, here's the thing, because usually the question a head coach would ask before deciding which quarterback to play, it should be, who gives us the best chance to win? Okay, now Flo apparently decided Tua with a swollen finger, maybe this will limit his ball security a little bit. Well, the guy you started was part of a 4-turnover performance on offense. The Dolphins had 5 turnovers. One of those was on special teams, though. The guy you did start threw a couple of interceptions and got stripped of the football yesterday. So it's like, you would like to think, and again, I don't think Tua is the next great franchise quarterback, but still, I would like to think that Tua Tagovailoa at 80% probably gives you a better chance to win. They did win yesterday, I know, but it wasn't because of your quarterback. Tua Tagovailoa, to me, at 80% probably gives you a better chance to win a football game than Jacoby Brissett at 100%. So that was part of what I didn't like. And yeah, my guy Brooklyn Rob firing the cannon here. They don't want him to be successful. It's the globalists. Listen up, folks. The Antifa, the globalists, the Illuminati, they're trying to keep Tua from succeeding. A lot of people have that theory. A lot of people have that. The only explanation, he says. The only explanation. I think both things can be true. Tua, they were a little bit too hesitant with him, but Tua can also be a bit of a fragile, injury-prone player. David says, slap Manny, not Donno, because of Manny's shoes. Oh, man, I want to throw out some shout-outs. Thanks to our guests, first and foremost. We just heard there from Alana Tohauer. Does a great job with us on Mondays. Great job on Feel the Heat and Clutch Corner as well. Huge shout out to Nick from thedailystakes.com. Huge shout out to Alfredo Arteaga, another Monday staple on this program. Let me throw some shout outs in the chat. Brooklyn Rob, Rafa in Miami, Big Dan 305. And listen to Big Dan, by the way. Smash that like button on the way out. I forgot to mention that at the top of the show because I had so much to say about the Dolphins and the Heat. And credit to my Canes as well. I know that was kind of ugly with all the fumbles. Tyler Van Dyke, TV dinner, TV dimes. That dude is freaking balling. He's the best quarterback in Miami right now. Tyler Van Dyke over Tua Tagovailoa. TVD had, 389 yards in that game. He continues to wheel and deal. No interceptions. He has been an absolute revelation, Tyler Van Dyke. He can make every throw. I trust him to make the right decisions. He's got the arm strength and the touch on his deep throws. Tyler Van Dyke every single week impresses me even more than he did the week prior. And I actually feel like, and it's not to say the Hurricanes have that tough of a schedule remaining. We're going to kick that Florida State ass on Saturday, but with the way TVD has been playing, even if you can't count on the defense, Tyler Van Dyke is going to put you in position to win the remaining games on your schedule. Like Florida State, Virginia Tech, Duke, Miami should be going 3-0 and finishing out their schedule with a winning record and even maybe having a chance to win the Coastal the rest of the way because TVD has been that awesome. So please smash that like button and make sure you subscribe to 5 Reasons Sports. Huge shout out to David, Twisted Tapioca, thank you. Michael Christian, thank you so much for tuning in. He's part of the Feel the Heat show with Allana as well. C. Dola, thank you so much for coming in. Massimo Riccio, our friend from the Daily Stakes, he was in the comment section. Thank you so much for coming out. Perfect Q, who writes in. So the question to that tagline should also be, can you also count on Jesse Davis? No, you can't. Jesse Davis has been horrific. This entire offensive line needs to be replaced and revamped. I'd like to give some benefit of the doubt to Liam Eichenberg first year, but no, this entire offensive line has been awful. Has been absolutely awful. Ray Grullon, thank you so much. I think he's talking about the Ravens at the Dolphins 7-point spread. So yeah, it must mean because I'm sure the Dolphins aren't favored, so that must mean the Ravens are 7-point favorites. Chris Adams, hello to you. Gianmarco Paterno, hello to you, who's a fellow Interista. So like me, I'm sure he was a little disappointed at Inter and Milan having a 1-1 draw yesterday. Inter should have finished more of their chances. Jeff Jackson, hello to you. Johnny Be Good, hello. Polo, hello. Oh, how about this? God works in mysterious ways. Our guy Polo says, dude, how did I just find this channel? I just subscribed. Thank you, Polo. Marco Polo, I hope is your first name. Thank you so much for finding us, for subscribing. And yeah, make sure you spread the word, man. Tell your friend. Oh, man. Luca is at daycare today. Otherwise, I'm sure he would have loved to have crashed the show. And there's Manny Chang wearing his foam runners in Walt Disney World. Should have kicked his ass out. It's a family amusement park. He was scaring those children with those shoes. Hello to Los Dolfanaticos Canal, a.k.a. the Dolphin Maniacs channel. Hello to you guys. Hello to Joshua Cordero. Hello to Jeff Jackson, to PRNT Pernt. Is that how you say that? Tua is a massive bust, he says. I don't know about massive, but it's he's been a little bit disappointing. I'm not going to say massive bust, but obviously I think it's fair for everyone to say, no matter who you blame for it, no matter what your excuses are, Tua has not played to the level of a top 5 pick, of a 5th overall pick. You can call it a massive bust, work in progress, incomplete, sabotage, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, Tua has not lived up to 5th overall pick status. No matter who you blame for it, you can't argue that. Dash Ust, hello. Thank you so much for joining us. Nathan S., thank you so much for tuning in. Let me see if anybody else I haven't shouted out yet. I love to do the shout outs at the end of the shows. This is where my brain gets a little scrambled because I try to name people without repeating them. Take a little trip with me. Thank you. Tua resembles an electric lawnmower. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know how that even makes any sense. Big Dan 305. Welch, thank you so much. I feel like I'm a little bit this was a message he sent way early in the show. I don't know what I don't know how his finger hurts. I don't understand that. That might have been a reference to something we said earlier. Irvin Sine, thank you so much. Let me see who else. Chris Adams, I think I mentioned. Let me see. I think we're nearing the end of the shout outs. Who was it? Somebody was upset. Zachary B. I forgot to mention Zachary B. Oh, this is take a little trip with me. Was upset about how many commercials we got to pay the bills, bro. I'm trying to these expensive, ugly sneakers that Manny Chang wears are not going to pay for themselves. we got to show some love to the people who make this show possible, who make this show financially feasible. Oh, look at that! I mean, if not for the funds we make through our great advertisers, Manny Chang would not be able to wear things like that on his feet and pay exorbitant prices for them. So come on, bros. We have certain lifestyles we need to maintain here. And hello, a couple of latecomers, Eternal and Tim Bates. Hello, Tim. Hello, E. Love you all. All right. Again, I said it before. I'll say it 100 times. If you're able to, if you're in the area, please stop by. Whether you can watch with us for 3 hours or 3 minutes, stop by the Quarterdeck Sawgrass location tonight on Sunrise Boulevard and check out Miami Heat at Denver Nuggets and Monday Night Football tonight. I'm going to be out there nice and early so I can get my snack on and eat some sushi up there at the Quarterdeck Seafood Bar and Neighborhood Grill. And guys, make sure you are making wagers with us at betus.com, the official sports book of Donno Daily. We still have virtually half of the NFL season. I think, but yeah, I mean, what we're 9 weeks through 17, or no, 10 weeks through 18 weeks, whatever it is. We got a lot still to come of the NFL season. NBA basketball games to bet on. We still have more college football to bet on. UFC fights, NHL. Oh, my head is spinning with all the action. BetUS.com. That is the official sports book of Donno Daily. There are a number of reasons why you should choose BetUS. Customer service is awesome. They've got odds on everything you could possibly imagine. They even have pop culture odds. They've got a full casino right there on the site. You can play blackjack. You can play slots. They have hundreds of different games at BetUS.com. And Donno has your hookup. When you sign up, use our code. Oh, Brooklyn Rob is right. I still need to send him that gift card that he won on 5 rounds. So he would have showed up if he had. How about this, Brooklyn Rob? I will bring the gift card with me. You show up tonight, I will give you the gift card, and you can spend the gift card accordingly. How about that? All right, so use our code at betus.com, 5RSN125, and they will give you a 125% sign-up bonus. So if you deposit, for example, $100, they're going to give you $125. They're going to more than double your deposit. You deposit $100, they give you $125 of free play money on top of your deposit, so you can enjoy America's favorite sports book, whether you take straight bets, parlays, spreads, money lines, props. They have everything at betus.com. You bet, you win, you get paid. betus.com. John Marco wrote in about the donations. If that's where the money goes, can I get a refund? He does not want to contribute to the Manny Chang Shoe Fund. Donno Ross is a genius, as he was able to speak to Watson after it was known that Watson was not going to get the settlements done. You're being sarcastic, right? I'm like, well, why does that make him? If you're being sarcastic here, it is interesting. Like, he requested the night before the trade deadline, and that request was granted. I don't think he ever talked to him, but the request was granted. That is a little bit weird, the timing there. All right, I am off. Huge thanks to Manny Chang, to all of our guests, to all of our viewers. We will talk to you guys again tomorrow, same time, 3 p.m. right here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Ciao.